tuning in for another episode of RV Business on the Road. Today I'm here with Bill White with United RV. Bill, thanks for showing me around and joining me today.
Well, good morning. I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, so okay, tell me a little bit about United RV and how this got started.
Sure. Second generation owner. We've been doing this for 50 years. My dad was in the RV parts, accessory, and mobile home distribution business. In the late 80s, as I was getting out of high school, he had retired a few times. Health issues forced him to do that, but he couldn't hang it up. And across the street from where we are now, bought a existing dealer, named it United Recreation and Mobile Home Center. We moved across the street a couple of years later, and in 1990, when I got out of college, right when we moved in here, and we started from there. I've got a brother that's a year younger than me, and he's in our business as well, and he got out of school a couple of years later, and here we are today.
Wow, great. Well, so what do you specialize in here? Is there a specific type of RV that you...
I think we're more of a full-service RV dealer, so we're new travel trailers and fifth wheels. We sell quite a few used motorized, but nothing new. When I say full service, we sell about 750 new and used RVs a year, large parts department. We have an online and e-commerce side as well with a warehouse for that. Huge service department, storage, LP gas. So whether they bought it from us or not, we want an opportunity at servicing them and get them in here for our parts department and maybe have a chance to sell them next time they're ready to trade.
That's great. I know obviously with me being on the road full time, it's one thing is really hard to get in service work, right? So that's great that you're willing to take those ones on that you didn't actually, if they didn't purchase the unit here.
Absolutely. We see that as a large opportunity and a lot of value as well.
Yeah, definitely. So United RV just finished the Dallas RV show.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about your involvement there and how did it go?
Yeah, so other than last year with COVID, it's the spring show in Dallas. It's always the last weekend of February, and it was kind of interesting. We lost the Thursday because of snow and ice in this area, and Texans aren't used to snow and ice. Although the show opened, there just wasn't many people there. But Friday through Sunday, just incredible attendance. Had a great show. We had 36 units in there. I think we had 27 deals at the end of the day Sunday, and just a tremendous week last week. Of course, the weather was great here, and Saturday as well. The interesting thing is with the consolidation, that show at one time used to have 20 plus dealers in it.
Wow.
And there were 5 of us. It wasn't a smaller show. We used up all the space. We're able to display more, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. So,
what was the reason behind that?
I think some area dealers are not participating in shows any longer. Business is fairly good and they don't see the value. They're a lot of work, they're expensive to do. And I think also some of the consolidation, some of the other dealers have sold out to a larger chain and they're not showing in the show. So.
Right.
But it was good from very beginner, basic type RVing questions, which bodes well for our industry and on down the road to people that have bought recently and want to trade.
Right.
So yeah.
That's great. So is it something that you see the value in? Is it something you're going to continue to do?
We will. Of course, we didn't have to do it. We did have the inventory to do it. This time last year, we might not have had the inventory. But our manufacturers worked really well with us over November, December, January, knowing we had 2 shows. And we were able to get quite a bit more inventory in to supply RVs for that show. Fort Worth show, I think we had 60-something units in, and that was the first weekend in January. So that helped being able to have inventory as well. And I do see us continuing. I mean, it was a successful show, and that's how we build leads.
Right. And I know for anyone that's looking to get into RVing, or if they've never really been in a unit, or say they're looking at different models, I know it's a great place to actually, go and see different layouts, models, and check out some of these newer ones as well.
Sure, yeah, that's a good opportunity for them.
So how would you describe the overall mood of these potential buyers?
Actually, positive, largely positive. Any show in any climate, you get the consumer that wants to talk about the political climate or fuel or things that are really coming into play right now. But I actually had somebody from RVDA reach out to me with the same question late last week, and I didn't talk to one person there that said anything about the war in Europe or anything like that. It wasn't going to affect that buying. We do get people with fuel questions and things like that, but who's not going to take a trip for $300 or $400 or $500, $600 more
right.
than it was maybe a year ago? They may go shorter and a little closer type stuff. So, but yeah, that was kind of the mood of the show. And
okay, so tell me about your upcoming annual open house.
Okay, sure. Open house we do the weekend after Mother's Day every year in May. It really hasn't changed a whole lot through the years, but promote their camping group that we sponsor. We have a large database of previous customers and prospects that we email out to, and we just do a big event where we serve food and we have our units on display and we have our parts staff here. We have factory reps from the RVs, the parts. They come in and help as well. Door prizes. We do some fun stuff with kids with our title clerk will do a scavenger hunt and some face painting and just try to make it a fun event. It's been successful for us too. So the beauty of it is it's like an RV show. It's not near as expensive to do. Plus the consumers come in here and can see what we do a little bit different.
Yeah.
We can show them, hey, our service facility is 20 service bays, and we have valet service for our storage RVs. And you have a little bit better control of the customer when they're here too, because at a show, everybody's got carpet and balloons, and you kind of look the same, but they can really meet the rest of our staff and not just our sales staff when they come in for open house. So.
You feel like, okay, they're here, you can feel the environment, the atmosphere, you can actually control a lot of those things that are outside of your control.
Right, and they get to see who we are and really meet us in a better environment in what we do. And we have a big top tent that we lease, and we do it outside, a cooking trailer. We partner with Texas Motor Speedway, and they come out and they typically have a NASCAR car here that people can look and touch and feel and talk to them about camping spaces at the race.
Everyone loves that too. I'm sure the kids and everyone else loves that.
Oh yeah. And that's been pretty consistent through the years. I mean, it's not like we just started that. We've been doing it for quite some time.
Oh, great. Yeah, that sounds fun. So tell me a little bit more about this camping group that you mentioned.
Okay, so we have a camping group, North Texas Campers and RVers, and our service director created it a few years ago, and we sponsor it. And it's a great source for the RV community, whether you bought an RV from us or you didn't. They get in there and they talk about where they're camping, and they have questions about how does this work, or hey, I'm thinking about purchasing a surge protector, any comments, and it's just a great resource for the RV community to connect and meet each other, and we sponsor a rally every year at a campground, and it's grown to where it's almost taken the entire campground, all their spaces out. Our service director will plan the rally and work with the campgrounds, and everybody fills up. And what we do is when I say we sponsor, we sponsor food and door prizes and things like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would someone like me get involved in that?
So all you need to do is when you go on Facebook and search for North Texas Campers and RVers, request, and they'll approve you, and you're in, and you can start seeing what's going on.
Awesome.
And I know you're a camper, so you need to join.
What about the rally? Is that held in the same place every year? Do you change it up?
Yeah, so that's rotated as well. Jim Benedict, our service director, will pick the rally with the campground, and then he's got several admins that will work with him to get it planned. They put it on the books, and we go camping and have fun, and
great.
We sponsor it. Yeah.
What time of the year is that? When can someone, if they'd like to attend the rally, when is it?
Typically in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah. And we try to work it around what we've got going on here too, because we do have a fall RV show, and then things start to loosen up a little bit.
Oh, great. Love it. Going back to the open house, why do you do that? What's something that's very important to you to have this open house every year?
Yeah, so we've been doing open house for, I've been doing this since 1990 full time, and I think the only year that we didn't do it was 2 years ago during COVID. But I think it was a way of customer appreciation. You know, we've always built a pretty good database of our customer or the referrals, and we just wanted to get them back in and celebrate and have a good time and let them see what's new, and just show them who we are.
Great. So you mentioned already with the camping group, the Texas Motor Speedway, but what other what other relationship do you have working with them?
So we do advertising out there, banner advertising. We've been able to work with them where we supply them some RVs for their security during the event. And we do some rentals as well. So they'll let us in, and we will be able to set up our customer rentals at the race before the rest of the campground opens. So that's kind of nice as well, and there's some revenue on that as well. My brother's oldest son is on the pit crew for the number 10 car. I think it's Almirola. He's been doing that a couple of years, and so it's kind of a cool tie-in as well. I know he had a pretty good weekend in Daytona, and I think he was top 5. And Trevor White's his name, and he's the he changes the tires. So he's got the impact, and he's changing the tires on the pit crew. Just kind of neat how that all worked out.
I actually just recently watched a movie, a documentary on it, and I didn't even realize how, I mean, you have to be athletic to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing about it was he played football at Baylor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so as he graduated, the coach there at the time, Matt Rule, they take these athletes and they interview with these pit crews and teach them how to do it, which is great. I mean, he's fast and quick, just a natural fit for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Pretty interesting, yeah.
That's great. So it's really, it kind of really brings you into it. Yeah, you're there for business as well, but you have an emotional tie to it. Which is awesome.
Yeah. It's fun to follow.
Yeah. So plans for 2020. Looking forward, what do you see for the business in the upcoming months?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. There's a lot of uncertainty out there right now. And, if you said what's my main concern, it's the rising cost of RVs or the components and freight, everything that ties into it. At what point does that plateau where supply is starting to get caught up and demand starting to wane? So that's my concern. But on the flip side, you got to have inventory in order to sell it. And as we move into our season, which we're a week away from spring break, our inventory is about 75-80% of where I would like it. It's much better than where we were Q3 last year. So to answer your question, I'm cautiously optimistic, provided cost and fuel and everything can stay in line. But the one thing about an RV, it's not a logical purchase. People don't have to have an RV to go to work. It's a lifestyle purchase. And so what we're seeing, I think, right now is more value than we are price. Prices are rising. We're still selling a lot because people see the value in camping. COVID changed a lot of things for what we do. I mean, it's the second safest thing you can do other than staying home.
Right.
You can go camping. And then my daughter is a school teacher in Dallas. And so they did remote learning. Families were taking their RVs or buying RVs and their family remote learning at the campsite.
Yeah.
Campsites have Wi-Fi. So I think what we found is that people that weren't using timeshares or couldn't use timeshares or go on cruises, I think we saw a lot of that money going into what our industry is, the RV industry. And it may not be for everybody, but it's sure for a lot of people that didn't even think about it before this happened. I'm cautiously optimistic going into it. Both RV shows were incredible. The first-time buyer is still out there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of questions being asked, and of course answered by us. So yeah, I think it's. I'm cautiously optimistic that we can get inventory and keep selling.
For these first-time buyers, is it something that is important to you to capture what camping is and what experiencing outdoors and all of that?
No, I think it is. When you come in, we've got an indoor showroom, right? And we've got a lot here and across the street. We've got new and used. And I think it's our job is to show them what an RV does and can do, or what you can add to an RV if it doesn't come with one new, Wi-Fi, satellite. Everything's on a button now. A lot of things are on apps. You can slide your slide in on an app, and your awning and your jacks, and people just don't know how easy it is and how much fun it is. And I think for us, that's really our job, is to educate them on it and help them make the right purchase. And floor plan is the number one deciding factor. How does it fit somebody's family and their tow vehicle and the weights and how they're going to go camping and how often they're going to go camping. It's not a price thing. It's more of a fit and value thing for them. So that's really our job, is to when the new customer comes in, to show them how we are. And then we also, say, hey, if you've got questions, hop in the camping group. It's a great resource to get your questions answered about what we do or what this lifestyle is about.
I think, me, I'm a newbie, right? I've been in this RVing for a year now, but grew up camping and pop-up campers and all of that.
Awesome.
And I just love the lifestyle and the people that you meet and the people that really just enjoy being out in nature and with their families and friends. And I'm excited being a first time on my own, but to meet those other ones that are out there that are getting out and exploring and go and see nature. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great lifestyle.
It is.
Yeah.
So United RV is a top 50 dealer. Congratulations on that, first of all. Secondly, what does that mean to you, to your dealership, and your staff?
Yeah, it's an incredible honor, number one, just to be nominated, but to win, and to win 5 years in a row, again, just an incredible honor, and the rest of the dealers that are out there, that whether they won haven't. They're the top in the nation. So it's been great for us. We're proud of it. All employees here have a vested interest in it as well, because they're asking me, hey, did we get nominated again? They know that innovation's a big thing in what they asked for. And so, a couple of the things we've done there was the camping group, which I think was really neat. And then this last year, we've developed a crawler hauler, which is a unit mounted on a PJ trailer, put on the back of the trailer, ATVs, razors, things like that. So it's kind of a neat thing, and that kind of spawned out of being nominated from the RVBusiness Award. Our sales manager, he's got a razor, and he goes to Mud Nationals and things like that, and it was kind of his idea. And came to me a couple of years ago, said, hey, I want to buy a couple PJ trailers. We're going to put a couple small ones on it, do a conversion, and it worked. We displayed one at the Dallas show and had people all over it last week. So I think a lot of that is from RV Business Top 50. It's we've got enough wood plaques everywhere, right? You get that from selling a lot of stuff. But this is an honor that's unlike that. It comes on, what do you do different than the rest of your peers? And we all take it very serious and put a lot of time and effort into the application. But more, it's just kind of telling the judges and RV Business who we are and what we do different than the guy down the street. We've really enjoyed being a winner. We use it in our advertising as well, because it does set us apart. And we're just really proud to be a winner and be associated with them.
As a customer, right, do they know what that means, right? You obviously, I'm sure your sales staff talks about that, or you mentioned your advertising, but do the customers truly know what that means?
I think there's a cross-section of them, right? When a customer comes in, yes, our staff and our sales staff talk about us being a Route 66 dealer and what that means and how we can handle them across the nation in Canada. They can talk about, you can go down and look at this unit elsewhere in another county, but you don't have the service that you have when you're buying from a Route 66 dealer. You don't have, that dealer may not be a top 50 dealer. And what does that mean? What goes into being a top 50 and being recognized as that? We're obviously doing something right. And so I think it just puts another bullet in our gun when it comes to telling the customer who we are and really what we do and how we're going to take care of them after the sale. So it's important. So
5 years, you've been a top 50 dealer. What are you going to do to keep getting nominated?
Well, I didn't win the first year. So I'm competitive too. Every year it's not that we just go, hey, what are we going to do different? We keep doing what we do or what's made us successful through the years. So
anyone that's thinking about getting into this industry, what would be your biggest piece of advice?
Biggest piece of advice getting in? I think it's more, any business I think you have to run as a business, right? Even if it's a family business, but I think the consumer that buys an RV, I think it's fun. They're telling you how they're going to use their RV, where they're going to go camping. Any business has problems, right? Any business has a consumer that'll, I say this to our staff all the time, 99% of our customers are awesome. They're great. And sometimes you get that one that's just tough.
Right.
And they're taking your resources, right, that need to go to the other 99. And if you do have a problem, I think you acknowledge it and you own it and overcorrect and make it right, and then you learn from it. So that 1% is good. But I think if someone's getting into this, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and but the consumer's great, and it's a lot of fun, and we enjoy it as well. I mean, it's fun just visiting with our customers.
So do you and your family personally camp?
We do. Matter of fact, it's been a while. My daughter's just got married last summer. She's 27. My son's about to turn 25 here in a few months. And our life was pretty full for a while. We camped a little bit when they were younger, and then when they were in college, not a whole lot. And, my brother's building a home right now, so he's actually living in a fifth wheel. So he's getting a full dose of full timing.
Yeah, love it.
So it's a lot of fun. And when we did, we would just take a used camper and prep it up and go. And we went to one spring break. We went to Jellystone Park down in Waller, Texas, and I pulled I have a '76 CJ5 Jeep.
Okay.
And we pulled it down there, and we camped down there, and I taught my daughter how to drive a stick shift and on my Jeep, and so it was fun. It was a lot of bonding, and we brought the dogs, and we had a ball.
Oh, see, memories like that, everyone in the family always remember too. It's the best part of camping.
Yeah, we stage, as a lot of dealers do, our RVs at RV show. And so my wife headed that up a few years ago. And so there's a picture actually in one of the ones last week where it's my daughter and my son, much younger, holding the dogs. It's up in that's been part of our decorations. So it's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, I really thank you for sitting down today and chatting with me, and you have a great operation here. So
I
kudos to
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yeah. Big thank you to our sponsors, Cummins, Eric Sell, United Park Brokers, and Dish Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in.